Shalom Alaikum. This is author K.M. Berrios here at Amanecer Media. and well, um, I wanted to play our anthem, but I'm not going to because really technically a work day. Saturdays are for rest, but I like to still give you the word of God because I don't really have a lot of time left. Uh, I don't know when I'm gonna go. um, every single day, even the Christian church is attacks me, like like seriously, like to kill me. And they think that they have to kill me spiritually for some reason that I can't understand because I'm already dead. I'm already dead. I was already dead to the world. I was. They just want me the way that they want me, and that's not going to happen. Because see, I read the Word of God, and it says something different than what I've been taught. So for that reason, again, I'm just not entertaining any. I'm not entertaining anyone. Um, since yesterday, since a couple of days ago, my computer has been having some issues, particularly of of the kind that leads to well, I'm a victim of electronic harassment. You guys already know that. Elio Echevarria, Sergio Figueroa, friends of theirs, friends that are not of theirs, like Douglas Ribeiro's friends, Selma White's friends, Miguel Gonzalez's friends, Juan Ramos's friends. Those are all my perpetrators. So back in Puerto Rico, some other people too. Um, they have certain accesses that I just can't understand what they do, how they do it. But I well, I'm here. So today I want to talk about this is a faith frame message to Governor DeSantis and the Florida Faith Office. Um, it's actually called the uh, Office of Faith, Office of Faith and Community Based Initiatives, and this is a it was built so that we could be holier. That's what I think. Um, but unfortunately, we are still a ways from there. Um, no, it's not really. It's not your fault. Don't worry about it. Um, well, maybe it is. Who knows? uh, in these situations, a lot of people can be at fault. That why faith isn't working out in a community, and why the initiatives that we're taking out that are faith based are not working. And this is one of them. See, Florida has always prided itself on being the state, uh, the Lord rebuke you, Satan, that says what it means and means what it says, especially when it comes to protecting children, um, defending families, and upholding moral clarity, which we're not doing. Let me explain something to you, Office of Faith. The fact that you continue to have places open that promote prostitution, um, drug use, um, and magic as something that is magic and divination as something that is, and sorcery as something that is uh, good. You are neither protecting children nor defending families, and you're definitely not upholding moral clarity. In fact, you are so shady, you're a tree. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, that's what we do here. We're about the words. Which is why the recent decision also to allow Hamburger Mary's to reopen in Kissimmee after the huge controversy there was in downtown Orlando, it feels like the kind of plot twist even Netflix would reject for being too unbelievable. Now, you might be asking because maybe you don't know what is Hamburger Mary's. Like what are you even talking about? This sounds Hamburger Mary sounds like a nice place to eat at. You know, Mary, she was a mother of God. No, no, no. She was the mother of Jesus. Let's start there. And there were different kinds of Marys in the Bible, just so you know. There was Mary Magdalene, and there was Mary, the sister of Martha. There was Mary, the mother of Jesus. Um, and and there were definitely other Marys along the way. There was Mary, the sister of Moses. Most people don't know her as Mary, the sister of Moses, because they call her Miriam. But just so everybody knows, Miriam is the name Mary in Hebrew. That the original Mary is Miriam. Um, so that's a little bit of Hebrew for you. Um, and by the way, for anybody who doesn't know, Mary doesn't mean pure or beloved. It means bitter. It means bitter. So we were so called um, very righteously because our lives in some way have had great bitterness in them. Um, Now, Hamburger Mary's is actually a themed restaurant, and it is known for its burgers. The burgers are delicious. I've had them. I had them once. I'm not gonna lie. I only ate there once. Um, Not here in Orlando. Hamburger Mary's is all actually a national staple, unfortunately. Um, I don't know where else they have. Uh, I don't know where else they have a restaurant, but Hamburger Mary's is also known as having a nightlife style environment, adult oriented entertainment events that are typically designed for grown ups, and bonus, drag performances. It exists because adults enjoy theatrical dining experiences, and some, you know, and unfortunately, the theater is full of gay people. And I don't mean happy people, I mean homosexuals. I I cannot explain to you why that happens unless you go back to the 1500s. Um, Theater has always had many homosexuals. And it goes back to the fact that men used to play women's parts. It was one of the most sought after jobs with the most, it was like being a big Hollywood star uh, to play a part as a woman, as a man. That's where the name drag comes from. It means, and I learned this some time ago. It means dressed as a girl is what it means. It's like when you read a script, what it said was like, enter such and such a person dressed as a girl, DRAG. Uh, so so yeah, that's what drag means. Um, and now that you've learned that bit of history, um, and now that you know what Hamburger Mary's really is, it's an excuse for people to watch a show, you know, um, while dining. It's a dinner theater with drag. I don't know if they might have taken the idea from this movie Connie and Carla. I don't know if you guys know it. I don't do Hollywood anymore. I don't even know if this movie is Hollywood or not. But it was a movie with two very well known um, actresses whose names whose names I've forgotten. But one of them is Mia Vardalos. She's Greek, and is actually a very funny girl. She's a comedian. um, she was also in Big Fat Greek Wedding. I'm not recommending any of these um, because I don't know if they're Hollywood or not, so I won't recommend them. Um, Actually, I wouldn't recommend Connie and Carla at all because it promotes homosexuality to a T. It promotes places like Hamburger Mary's. Um, that's why I wonder because in that movie, these two women go into hiding after witnessing a crime, and they hide dressed as dressed as drag queens in a little cafe or whatnot. um, and No, in a little gay theater, and yeah, and they proposed to the owner to make money as a dinner theater with drag. Anyway, so that's what Hamburger Mary's is basically, um, and it's not fine because none of this is good, but adults can choose what they want to attend and what they want to come up with, right? The ideas they want to come up with. But when a venue with adult themed entertainment begins offering family friendly versions of shows, or when children are invited into environments that were originally designed for adults, the question becomes who decided this was a good idea? Well, I have the answer to that. The answer is the devil. But most people don't give credit to the devil for their own ideas, especially when they're really mischievous because they're funny and alluring. So uh that's usually who decides this is a good idea, and then he whispers to people, the right people in their ear, and says, why don't you do this? That's what happened to Obama. In fact, I have a video at some point coming up, maybe in the next 5 years, where I'm very explicit about what happened on the day that Obama got the idea to say, "Oh yeah, we should tell the Supreme Court that love is love, and have a pride flag, and make money out of gay people." um, because now you become a commercial commodity. By the way, you're not just. I'm talking to the gays. I'm talking to the gays who are frowning at me and throwing tomatoes at me and rocks because you guys are stoning me. I know. I did take the memo that I have been made a victim of LGBTQ folk, the community, especially those who have followed the beast and who want to be diviners and witches, right? And have all these powers that the devil is offering. I see, I hear. Ooh, that's why you're burning. Anyway, um, well, I don't want anything that you have, so. Anyway, even the most secular parent knows that children don't need sexualized humor, gender themed adult comedy, nightclub style entertainment, or performances originally designed for mature audiences. Children need innocence, stability, clarity. They don't need confusion. They don't need adult themes, and they don't need environments that are they are just too young to interpret. This is why it's a horrible thing. It's a travesty, and it's inhumane to put gay couples in Disney shows for the sake of inclusion, for the sake of explaining to children what's going on. You don't have to explain to children that way, because the fact of the matter is that couples are about sexuality. And if a child is 5 years old looking at a gay couple on the screen saying, but those two people are of the same, they're mommy and mommy. Why is mommy and mommy having children? That doesn't make any sense to me, because my parents are mommy and daddy. And in school they teach me that, Bobby has a penis and Mary has a vagina. Not hamburger Marys, but you know, uh because bonus, all the drag queens that you're going to find at Hamburger Mary's are males dressed as girls. DRAG. So so yeah, um it's very confusing for a child to see that kind of thing. And what you do when you explain couples to a child, it's not mommy and daddy are friends. No, it's mommy and daddy have children, and they live together in a house. And you don't tell them this, but mommy and daddy have sex every day. Or, well, some days. I don't know. I don't know your life. I'm not asking. I don't care. Um, I used to be the person who cared a lot about that stuff, but I really, God knows how much I don't care about that anymore. Um, God knows how much I wish I didn't even have to hear about it anywhere. And every time I see a couple kissing on screen, I go like, stop. Why do you have to do that? PDA. Why is that necessary? Films were beautiful, beautiful when it was just like that Elizabeth Taylor embrace. And yes, I know Elizabeth Taylor is probably not the best feature or model uh, of sanctity and virtue um, out there, but I don't know how you say it in Hebrew. Uh, but point blank, um, we don't want these things around children, because you explain to children at their at their developing age that mommy and daddy are, they love each other very much, and they had a baby, and that baby came either by bees or storks, the whatever is best at the time, to tell the child. um, the daddy had a special seed and he put it in mommy's belly. Get out. I'm gonna have to make this really quick. Talking about sex is not for children. Okay. um, Point blank. So why are we talking about homosexuality to them? Oh, because they need to know that there are different kinds of people so that they can love everybody. You know what? They can love everybody without somebody putting it in someone else's butt legally. Okay. And I don't have to be, I'm not trying to be crass, and I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to be very specific, because you wanted to be very specific. You were so adamant about being specific about this that you made a pride flag that looks like the rainbow, which is one of the biggest signs of the covenant that saved humanity. Peace, shalom for everybody. between God and humanity, and you took that symbol and you used it for your penis going into another man's butt. And that is not a that for me is a that's a crime. In heaven it's a crime, and it is on earth too. And you don't know it, but I'm making sure that you do. Because I want my rainbow back. Okay. Yes. Love is love. It is true. But you need to know what love is to say that to anybody. Okay? So Hamburger Marys. You need to understand that we want everybody to love one another. That's inclusion. And inclusion is humanitarian. And that's what Jesus was all about. That's what the gay agenda is saying since the start. I don't want anybody to think that Obama went the scientific route, because his route was the biblical route. He took the Bible and he blasphemed it with it. Love is inclusion, love is compassion, love is dignity. It's okay if you expose your minors to adult entertainment, no matter who is performing it. Because, placing children in environments built around sexuality and it's identity exploration, and it's you know it's okay. Love is love. I'm sorry, but if you wouldn't want your kids to call you a whore, why would you want them to talk about homosexuality like it's okay? If you're okay with your kids walking in the door and saying, such and such, Anita said that her mommy and mommy want us to have a play date with them. Can we go? There's absolutely no reason why my kids have to go through that, or yours, or anybody's. And bonus, I don't believe in gay people having children. I don't care what kind of gay couple you are. If you're a man and a woman and you want to have kids, you need to be straight. You need to be heterosexual, because to have a family, you need to understand your original blueprint roles. You're not a family otherwise. You're just people doing what everybody else does. You're mainstream characters. You're a commercial. You are not a family. Children cannot cognitively process these themes. What love truly is protecting of innocence. It guards childhood. Love draws boundaries. Why? Because if you go through there, you're going to fall and kill yourself. You're going to hurt yourself. God doesn't want us to hurt ourselves. That's why he created the Torah. Would you think did you think that there was any other reason? I'm sorry. But was there any other reason why God said, "You shall not eat from that tree"? Why? Eve asked. Yeah, God, why? Adam said, "It looks good to eat." And God said, "Well, it does, but if you eat from it, you're going to die." Oh, we're going to die? What does that mean? It means you're no more. You cease to exist, and I'm going to be so mad at you. and 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 um and Adam and Eve didn't want God to be mad. But then one day they forgot about that. They forgot because the devil's alternative was given to them. That's what I call it. And I say that in every video, don't I? The devil's because it's a perfect way to explain it. The truth is always going to be the truth, but it's only from God. The only one who knows the truth about all things is God. And I'm not trying to make any relatable jokes about it. That's it. If you cannot take the truth, then you cannot live a real life. Your life will always be a lie. Always. But once you had, the devil's alternative, which is something that's not the truth, but that sounds like it could be, like it could be. It's the what if, you know? It builds curiosity, because we're intelligent. But the problem is that that's not intelligent. It's not wise. It's thoughtful, but not wise. It's thought provoking, yes. That's the problem with what ifs. Not all what ifs are good. You have to take your what ifs with wisdom. See, the snake here told Eve, he didn't say, "Oh, you can't eat from that tree." No, 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 no. He went all the way marketing ploy, like a madman, ad. And he said, "So, did God really say that you can't have from all the trees in the garden?" He did it in a way that Eve was led to believe from the beginning that God might not be good, that he might not be such a loving and giving father as he has said, that he's not really that much of a provider. That is the devil's alternative. It's such a clever way of saying things that you might believe them, you know? And that's what happened with LGBT. This was a monster that had been killed and it was dead for a very long time. And yes, there were some countries around the world that had some, uh, allowances for same sex marriage, but not here. And I'm talking about here, right now. And that was very controlled. It was just a few places, and it wasn't like a big deal. Like it wasn't happening in such a way that everybody was doing it. Here, we made parades out of it. We made T-shirts out of it. We we sell Disney, Disney, Disney paraphernalia about it. Not about love is love, but about a guy can put it in another guy's butt. And I want to give you the male version because it is pretty disgusting to put someone's penis in an anus. It's very disgusting. That's an output. God made it that way. Outputs are for things to come out. An anus is not a mouth. The mouth, things go into the mouth, like, you know, and then they come out too. You cough, things come out. You vomit, things come out. Like when God is vomiting you out of his mouth. Yeah. So, God drew boundaries for a reason, and it was so that we wouldn't die. Not because he was, not just because he was God, but because he was God and he made all things, he knew if they eat from this tree, they're going to die. I better tell them. Imagine if he hadn't told us. We would have lost heaven a long time ago, much longer. So, so God takes care of us, and that's why limits exist. But no, here comes Obama, and he opens the big fat gate of hell, and all the crickets come out. Do you know what crickets are? Yeah, locusts. The locusts are the dead. So all the locusts come out. Do you know what locusts do? They go on everything that's green, everything that can be eaten, like in the fields, and they destroy it. They destroy fields, they destroy harvests. Yeah. So another thing that love says is not here, not now, not for them. That's what Jesus said. You know, that's what he told Hades when he died. He died for us on the cross, and he got to hell because he went all the way to hell to get the keys from death. And he told him, not here, not now, not for them. He took the keys and he came back. And he's coming back a second time. And he's going to say that to the Antichrist, who is Satan. Not here, not now, not for them. And before he arrives, there are going to be two men called the two prophets of the apocalypse. And those two men are going to go around the world and they're going to be sending that message. And if you ask me, I think that already started. We don't know who they are, but I have a feeling that they're already going around saying, not here, not now, no, no, not for them. And if you ask me who's going to be with those two, it's not Biden, it's not Obama, it's not Justin Trudeau, it's not Putin, it's not Xi Jinping, it's not Kim Jong-un. Is it Donald Trump? A lot of people are saying that he's the Antichrist. But you have to understand that historical context and biblical context that surround this man is very intricate. He was prophesied as the Cyrus, as much as a lot of people don't like to hear that. He has done a lot of bad things. I'm not trying to hide that. And you don't know what he's done. And I know more than you what he's done. I know more than the news. I know more than the Mueller report. And I've said it publicly. But I won't say it anymore unless the Lord tells me to say it. So I'm not going to say it now. I just want you to know that he is one of those people that God has sent to say, not here, not now, not for them. And he's trying to polish him into something that he's going to use. You know, he's not trying, he's doing it. That's the thing you got to know about Donald Trump, is that he was chosen by God. Yeah, that guy. Who knew? Even he didn't know. Okay. Or who knows? You never know what people know about themselves. He was asked in an interview, and well, anyway. Some people out there might say, "Well, Jesus didn't say anything about about homosexuality," and you go like, "What? Yeah, he didn't say anything about homosexuality in the Bible." You go like, "What? Yeah, he didn't. Nowhere in the Bible." I used to say that. I used to say that to people. Nowhere in the Bible are you going to find that Jesus said anything about homosexuality. And we were like, well, he didn't say homosexuality. He didn't say same sex. But the scripture is not vague in any way about sexual immorality. And homosexuality is categorized in the Bible, in a big drop down box as sexual immorality. The scriptures are not vague about protecting children either from sexual immorality. And the scriptures are not vague about guarding innocence. Yeshua, our king, said, if anyone causes one of these little ones to stumble, which means like to be tempted or to sin, because you don't need to be tempted to sin. You don't know that when you think, you're already sinning. So when you're making your children think about homosexuality as a possibility, as an accepted, what are you doing? You're causing them to sin. Blessed are the pure in heart. And lo and behold, the Lord wants us all to be pure, especially children. He wants them to stay pure. Flee from sexual immorality. Flee. Like a volcano just erupted, and you're at the foot of the mountain. You don't just stay there, and try to TikTok it. I know you guys do. The funny stupid part about all of this is how yellow we are about things. You know what about yellow media? Sensationalism. We love the drama. So when there's a tornado, we take our phones, we take my phone, and we oh my gosh, this is it. The world is ending. Look at that big tornado, and we're taking this film, which we have to send it to all of our friends on Facebook, and on Snapchat, and we have to Instagram it too, you know. And obviously, you're going to make another TikTok, trying to make sure that you look pretty in the bathroom as you're waiting for the tornado to pass. It's awful. This is what modernity has done to us. Industrialization, not so much. Commercialism, just capitalism. It's too much. It's too much. Um, but flee from sexual immorality means, you have to run away from it, not stand around to see what it's like or consider it to see if it's okay, if it fits. Go away. Go away from me, right now. There is some witch in their house using voodoo dolls to hurt children. You think that's okay? I hope you're one of those people who think that it's not okay. In the same way, homosexuality is wrong. The Lord also said, "Be holy as I am holy." Holiness is not a suggestion, it's a standard. And it's a standard that this nation promised to live by when the Pilgrims and the Puritans came here. So it's a standard that we need to continue to uphold. And that is one of the things that Donald Trump was trying to do when he said, oh, let's rededicate the nation to God. The problem with that is that to rededicate the nation, you have to change the law. You have to change the way of the people. You have to ban the stuff that God hates. But if you don't do it, you're not really doing what God expects. You're not being holy as He is holy. So we have to take this as an opportunity. The citizens, those of us who care about the children, that that they don't learn about sexual immorality in a way that they'll be tempted or that they will sin. As a witch, you're also not supposed to be using Catholic idols to try to talk to Jesus. You know, some witches don't. They People think that witches are only santeros, that they use saints to venerate the saints and to put like sacrifices. That's not all they do. There are some witches who take La Virgen Maria, the statue of the Virgin Mary, and they paint on her, and they hit her, they break her. I saw this video of one of them, of a witch getting on top of a statue of a Virgin Mary, like a large statue, and using her as a horse. And she was going around like the room with this music on. And she was doing a hex, just trying to hurt somebody. It's like, you are the Virgin Mary. They're doing that to me. Um, I don't believe in it, but I've seen it. Like, I've seen how they do things to the Virgin Mary, how they paint her face and stuff. One of the things that God made good is the fact that you can see what witches do to you. He doesn't let them be hidden, not from you, and they're definitely not hidden from him. And the witches think, oh no, this is a way to torture them. But I think that God did it on purpose, so that the person who was getting the witchcraft done would know, oh, what's happening to me is witchcraft. It's not, you're not going cuckoo. Um, I've heard it from other people too, how it's done to them. So anyway, it's a satanic thing. It's very satanic. Um, I don't know what those people are called. Paleros, sorcerer. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Your name is witch. Your name is you deal with the dead. Your name is you're going to hell. Okay. Now, holiness. Let's go back to holiness. It is a standard. And I bring up also all this about magic because the standard is also that as sexual immorality shouldn't exist, there are other things that are immoral that the Bible explains that shouldn't exist. And I'm not the kind of person to say, if my neighbor likes to, deal with spiritism, that's their problem. Uh, well, how I explain this? I'm gonna say it, but I'm not gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. You're not allowed here. The Lord rebuke you. No, there are no spouses in my house. This is a house of the Lord. And here you're not welcome. I don't know why you think you are, because I took everything you had. You're not welcome. All right. So when a state publicly rededicates itself, along with the president to God, as Florida has done, obviously, the expectation is that policies are going to reflect the dedication, not contradict it. So, no, said here. No. So, so during the Trump, let's talk about the Trump administration's LGBT policy context, because I think that we need to go into that to really send the message to Governor DeSantis and the Office of Faith uh, and community-based initiatives to truly make a change that will impact the citizenry and the cities in a way that there will be true change, true understanding of why the change is necessary. I just heard a voice say you can't take the gays out of the city. Yes, you can. As a matter of fact, you don't know how much can be done to you, to allies. You don't know how far the law can go. In the same way as Obama snaked himself into the Supreme to say love is love and let's include the gays, the same wording can be used to take that back. You're not intelligent enough to make this happen. Understand that you're in Satan's side. You're the stupid one. You're the one who lost eternity, beauty, forever, holiness in heaven. For what? For envy, for the cause of jealousy, for greed and power seeking, and the thirst that nobody knows where it came from. You decided to rebel, and you think that's funny, and you think that's oh so cool. Go and put some sunshades on. See if you look like Tom Cruise or something. I don't care about you. You're going to hell. You sought that way, you walked that way, and you went that way, and I don't care about you. And I'm going to talk to you like that because I don't forgive people who are cursing me currently. I don't. My nieces are not witches. All right. So, during the Trump administration, several federal actions were actually taken regarding LGBT inclusion. We know all about that, right? We know about what happened in schools. We know about what happened to federal guidelines, you know, trans stuff, Bible stuff. We know what happened to healthcare, no more snippety snip, right? We know what happened in military policy, right? And the public response has varied widely. Actually, polling from Pew, Gallup, and PRRI has consistently showed shown. Unfortunately, the majority of people do support LGBT having equal rights, adults especially, but there's also a majority opposition to exposing children to sexualized content. See what I mean about this? This, the same way that Obama went in, we can kick him out. We can kick you out of this country. Gay, homosexual, trans, lesbian, whatever you want to call yourself, we can kick you out, and we are kicking you out. You will not know what hit you until you're in hell. Some of you are not going to budge. You're going to stubbornly go to hell like those people who died in Poles and didn't repent from their sin. Some of them might have repented at the last minute and God might have been merciful and saved them. I'm not I'm not going to lie to you about that. Cuz you don't know my God. But they have to you don't know my God also in the way that he knows your heart and he knows everything you've done. Everything you think. From the minute it comes up and bubbles into your mind, even before that, when it starts bubbling in your cells, he knows what you're about to do, what you're about to think, what you're about to say. Don't think that you're smart. Don't think that you have power. You don't. You're a worm. You're not an ant, you're a worm. An ant is useful. A worm serves for food for the birds. Okay. So so when I say that the majority opposes exposing children to sexualized content, that means that we win, you know? We don't want these things here. Now, there is a strong support for parental rights and education, and that's a 60 to 70%. So those 60 to 70% people can kick out homosexuality from this country. That's what we're trying to do. Also, there's a strong concern about minors in adult themed environments, over 50%. So again, that support for LGBT adults having equal rights can easily be plucked out of the equation by saving the children, by making laws that will protect children from people like you. And let me explain something. I'm not trying to attack you as a person. I'm trying to attack your attack against humanity because you want to do something that's illegal in heaven, that is harmful on earth, and illegal on earth too because it's illegal in heaven. And you want to expose children to that so that they also accept you because love is love, right? Well, we have to draw a line now. Dignity means dignity. And you're not dignifying children by exposing them to things like Hamburger Marys and drag shows at the congressional level. I still can't get that one out of my mind. That the House of Representatives, a drag show, wow. I just couldn't. Was it House of Representatives? Was it a Capitol somewhere? There was a drag show. I can't get it out of my mind. Just like Baphomet in was it Ohio, Idaho, Iowa. That the biggest position of Baphomet. I can't get it out of my head. It's like, what are you doing, America? You're not America anymore. You're where did I go? When Obama dropped the mic in this country, a whole bunch of no happened. And you just don't understand. He opened a gate and he let Satan fly out of it. It was like Satan knocked on the door of his bedroom and he said, "No, no, Michelle is here." He said, "But it's me. And I've got some really cool things here for you to see. Then Michelle is here. I don't want to bother her. But could you just a little bit, open the door just a little bit? I'll just I'll just slip it down. You can pick it up. I'll slip it out." And Obama said, "Okay, okay. Just come in because I don't want to get out of bed." And then the devil walked right in. And I'm going to tell you something, he hasn't left. So, all the devil is excrement. We don't want our children around excrement. Now, what do parents think about gay businesses and children? Well, obviously, we already know what polling shows. Most Americans, including, and this is the amazing part, is including LGBT Americans, they believe that adult entertainment should remain adult. Most parents across political lines oppose minors attending drag shows. And most Floridians support child protection laws regarding adult venues. This is not about your orientation, man. You're free to do whatever you want. It's not okay what you do, but you're free to do it. You are allowed. As liberally as you want to, you're allowed to do it with your body in your own time. But this is really about appropriateness. Because the fact that you think that you're a woman or a man, or that you want to dress as one, if you're of the opposite sex, and or that you want to marry someone of your, it's not about any of that. It's about the fact that it's not appropriate. And appropriateness is not a cute word, or a word to say, oh, it's PC. No. Appropriateness goes back to whether something is an abomination or not. An abomination is something that God considers completely away from his likeness. It's something that doesn't look like his creation at all. You have fallen away so much from your original making that you're not human anymore. You're a demon now. You're Satan yourself. And God will call you so. So appropriateness really is fitting into God's order. In the same way, when we talk about children and places like Hamburger Mary's, we are talking about whether it is approved or not for a certain age, and just in general. Just in general. So why did they reopen Hamburger Mary's and Kissimmee? This is where the sarcasm writes itself. Florida says, we are the state that protects children. And then Florida says, but sure, let's reopen the venue known for adult themed entertainment and hope nobody notices the contradiction. It's like saying we're banning cigarettes for minors, but opening a cigar lounge next to a preschool. Smoke is just, you know, flying all the way to the courtyard, and you wonder why your kids are coming home with this really big bad cough. Nobody knows. Knows, but you've got Chernobyl right next door. It's inconsistent. It's confusing. As confusing as saying, we have the faith office, we're doing community initiatives with faith based, things here. Governor's wife is taking care of all that. Yeah, but the governor's wife also goes to Universal and writes the Harry Potter rights, doesn't she? That's a problem. Oh, you don't understand that? Let me explain it again. Witches are evil. Harry Potter is Harry Potter is one of the biggest jokes in hell. It is. It's one of the things that the devil toasts to the most nowadays. He's making big parties um, because of it. You know, and J.K. Rowling doesn't understand it. I've prayed about it. Anyway, um, it's beneath the standard that Florida claims to uphold, basically. um, Now, in our own message here at Amana Media, we are we are advocates for traumas for trauma based uh, PTSD. Not advocates, but for people who are in that situation. We are we provide support to survivors of trauma. Um, we promote faith based um, messages and programs. We encourage moral clarity, obviously. Um, we have elevated family centered initiatives, especially our books. We have strengthened uh, understanding of what people need because we're smarter than a lot of people. What? I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but ever since I read the Bible, my IQ went like 20 points up, 40, probably 70. I'm not really sure how much. Um, yeah, I'm still pretty stupid because I'm human. um, but I can tell you that we are working very hard to send an advanced message about protecting families in America. And not just here in the United States, but across the world as well. But because I live in America, I can only speak about America. I can try to speak about other places, but it's not going to come out the same. Because I don't know those places. I know the US, I know Puerto Rico, and I can travel to the Dominican Republic or the US Virgin Islands, uh, or Hawaii or Alaska, which are, the furthest states, by just getting on a plane. And it'll be a very, very short, mostly cheap trip. Now, going to Italy, that would be little bit more expensive, right? So that I could, and then staying there for a while so I could learn about it. That research alone is not going to write a story. And sure, I could AI it, but I don't want to AI my way through all of my books. You know what I mean? I wanna be a hybrid writer, something that fits uh, the different modalities of literature, um, in in modernity. And yeah, so and one of the things that we want to do is we want to protect children. Like I said, I have prayed about Harry Potter flunking, failing, becoming nothing. I used to love Harry Potter. And when I became a victim of ritual abuse, I understood and God showed me. And he taught me through the Bible what this really was, what witchcraft really is. And he said, then Harry Potter is a lie. And God said, yeah, thank you for noticing. He said, this is one of the worst things that's ever happened to children. And I said, I would like to help this. And God said, okay, I'm going to listen to you. So I prayed very hard. I don't know what God did, but I know he did something.